Hey everybody, I thought it'd be fun to go through my quick carry bag, which this is a Vito TP3B tool pouch. And this is what I take into something where I'm gonna go troubleshoot something for the first time, or it's really the first thing I grab out of my truck or my toolkit when I'm gonna go look at something in your lab. So I thought we'd see what I carry in here. Now I've got a lot of different tool bags, and I've got some very big tool bags that have a lot more advanced tools in them. I've got multimeters and all kinds of test equipment, but really I can solve a lot of problems with just this, and this is what I would consider to be the basic toolkit for a scientist to have in your laboratory. So first of all, you need something to put all of your tools in. I like this tool pouch. I like Vito tool pouches. I've used them for quite a while and they've never let me down. But really anything will work. First off, you need a tape measure. I don't go for expensive tape measures just because they get broken a lot for me. Now, this one is an imperial only tape measure. I've had some that are imperial and metric. Really, I just use the imperial tape though. I don't use a metric tape measure that much. Since we're in the US, we are still on the imperial system. So a cheap tape measure is a good thing to have. Then a light. I keep that in the front pocket. This is the Olight O-Clip. I love this light. It's got different brightnesses. It lasts for many, many hours on the lowest brightness. It also has a red light if you need to preserve night vision. It's got a magnet, it's got a clip. I can clip it onto whatever I'm working on. Something to light up the situation is really, really helpful. And I like the magnet because I can stick it up in an electrical box if I'm working on something electronic in a box. Or I can even turn it around and clip it to where my tape measure goes and have the bag hold the light pointed where I need it. So that's a great little light. And then we start getting into the pouches here. Screwdrivers. So a basic set of Phillips and flathead screwdrivers, and this is number 1 Phillips. So number 1 and number 2, and a large and a small flathead screwdriver. Those are the essentials. You'll notice I have individual screwdrivers and not a multi-driver. I do have a multi-driver in my other toolkit. Changing the bits actually gets pretty annoying, and a lot of equipment has mixed sizes or mixed types of fasteners. So I've really found it the most helpful to keep dedicated screwdrivers. I also have 2 sizes of ECX, and this is really only useful if you're working on AC equipment. This is the combination of flat and square that is on many things like electrical plugs, electrical switches, and other AC connected equipment. These are really handy, but they may not be necessary to carry in your bag. But a good set of screwdrivers. I really like Klein Tools screwdrivers. The plastic grip fits really well in my hand. I've got some Milwaukee screwdrivers. I don't like their grip as much, though it's not bad, but spend money on good screwdrivers. Don't get the cheap $13 set that's got 20 pieces. You just need a few basic ones, but spend money on some good ones. Okay, pliers. Really, this is the main plier I carry, and this is the Knipex 8710-250. These can change size like a slip joint plier, and they have flats in here to grab on nuts or other hex fasteners. So I can grab on many, many sizes and not have to carry a bunch of wrenches with me if I just need to do something quick. So these are also known as the Cobra. That's their more classic name. And they come in many different sizes. The 250s are my favorite though, as it fits everything from a little bit over a number 4 all the way up to over an inch. So a good set of pliers, slip joint pliers. My preference is the Cobras. In my main pocket, I've also got a small set of lineman's pliers. So these have a cutter, these have a blunt end. These are really great for doing electrical work on semi-large conductors, getting in there and grabbing things, bending things. These are a very rigid plier. This particular one has the soft grip handles. These are the Knipex 0302 180s. A good set of needle nose. These are a nice long, narrow needle nose. If you can't tell, I like Knipex pliers. and the soft grip has grown on me over the years. This is the 2612-200, and these are really great for reaching down into a cabinet or down between things and pulling something out. So a good set of needle nose. Side cutters. They come in a straight and an angled form. These are the angled side cutters. These are the Knipex 74-22-200s. These can cut small screws, small machine screws, cut wire. They're not quite a flush cutter, but they're close. I use a flush cutter for only the fine electronics work. And if I'm doing fine electronics work, I'm not using this tool bag. This is more my general purpose troubleshooting, repair, maintenance bag. Okay, I've got this is by Purdy. I found this at Lowe's, and it is a putty knife. So it's very, very sharp. Good for scraping labels off, scraping things. It has a bottle opener in it if you find that useful. But what I really like about this one is it folds, so it doesn't cut your bag, or it doesn't cut you if you're reaching in. And it's got a metal cap that you can hammer on if you want to get it under something and hammer. So a putty knife, something to scrape with. Over on the side pocket of my tool bag, I have a very small, these are screwdrivers for small fasteners. So it's got a straight end, a Phillips end, then you can flip it and get a straight and Phillips of another size. The one thing that I don't like about this is the bits aren't retained very tightly. As you heard, one of them just fell. But this is the Klein Tools 4-in-1, also known sometimes as a thermostat screwdriver because it's got the small bits. But an electronic screwdriver, a small screwdriver, is really handy. I always keep a Sharpie. You never know what you need to write on. This is the Amazon Basic Sharpie, and it does a fine job. A non-contact voltage tester. These are made by a lot of people, also known as chicken sticks. This tells you if there's AC power on a line. You can stick it in an outlet. You can run it along the side of a wire. Of course, it's not necessarily a life-saving device. I always test it on something I know is live first. But if I am poking around in a box and I want to just confirm to myself before I reach in that everything is dead, I'll use my non-contact voltage tester. On the other side, this is a recent addition. This is the Knipex 8710-125. These are the same as the Cobra pliers that we had originally that I showed you, but they're a much smaller plier. These will grip everything down to pretty close to a number 2. They're small, they're handy to have for those smaller jobs where the big Knipex Cobras are too much of a pain. I've got a Pica pencil. So this is a graphite pencil to mark things like wood or something I don't want to have a Sharpie mark on it. It comes with this nice little holder that is a sharpener on the bottom for the lead, and you can replace the leads. I know there are a lot of competitor pencils out there. I'm fine with the Pica. It also locks back into that holder so I don't lose it, but having a writing utensil is really handy. And then over here on this side, I have my electrician shears. These are the Knipex 9505-155. These are very, very sharp, and I carry these instead of wire strippers in this bag. I carry wire strippers in my big bag, but again, if I'm going in somewhere doing a first checkout, these do the job. I can cut everything up to probably a number 10, a 10 gauge wire with these. You can use the stripper back in the back to strip wire, and I've also used it to do networking, so cut the sheathing off Cat6 cable. These are incredibly sharp. They come with a holster, and you want to be careful with that holster. You can give yourself an appendectomy if you miss the holster and you have it clipped on to your belt. But I use these all the time. So a good set of scissors, shears, something sharp. I don't really like carrying a utility knife. Utility knives are, well, one, they're relatively dangerous. I don't like having them in my bag that's just setting out somewhere. I do carry one in my pocket a lot of times. I have the Milwaukee folding utility knife, but I really like having a set of shears in my tool bag. And then on the side of the tool bag, I've got a zip tie holder. This just is a spring-loaded device, so you can pull zip ties out one at a time, and it keeps tension on them, and just pull that back and load more. Always handy to have zip ties, keep your cable work neat. And then I've got by Railer these bit holders. Right now I don't have a lot of bits in here. I kind of change them out based on what I know I'm going to. But you know, number 2 bits for an impact, or bits for a screwdriver that will take bits. I've got a DeWalt bit holder in here right now, a magnetic bit holder. So really just something to hold various driver bits. And then on the side, in the loop, a roll of electrician's tape. This is handy for lots of just really quick insulating. I'm going to temporary something together and test it in DC, of course. Nice sticky black tape. Get the good quality, the 3M instead of the cheap tape. So really for just a few $100s, you can put a nice maintenance toolkit together, and this will get you a surprisingly long way in your laboratory when it comes to working on repairing equipment. Of course, there's no replacement for a tool chest full of the perfect tool, of fixed wrenches, of lots of different kinds of pliers and screwdrivers and drivers and ratchets. But if you're just carrying something in for the first time to start working on a piece of equipment, or you're just getting started, this is a great beginning toolkit. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit subscribe and go in the description and join our mailing list. We put videos like this, tutorials, sales, new product announcements, and all kinds of really great information in there that you don't want to miss.